All right, so in this lesson, we are going to simplify expressions. Simplify expressions with multiplication of square roots. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's choose yellow. The square root of 8 times square root of 2. Now you could technically, like there's one way where you could do, like they're both inside, so square root of 16 is just 4, right? But that way, and that way is good. I mean, that's efficient. But let's use well, you can use this way whenever you see fit. But I'm going to show you another way that'll help us when things are more complicated. So if it's like this, you can just say square root of 8 is square root of 4 times square root of 2. Remember, we look for the perfect square right here. And then we multiply by square root of 2. So I'll do that one there and that one there. So square root of 4 is 2. And then square root of 2 times square root of 2. I'll do it like that. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is square root of 4. Which becomes 2 again. So then we're left with 2 times 2, which is just 4. Seems complicated, right? Like, if you can do it like this, I would do it like this. Let's try this next one. So in this next one, we would just, the easier way would just be, no, not the easier way, the first way. So we did 8 times 2, right? So 9 times 4. We could just do, is square root of 36, which is just 6. Easy, right? This other way will be more helpful to us later, though. So square root of 9 is just the square root of 3 times, well, there's no point in doing square root of 3 because it's not a perfect square. That just gives us 3. Oh, we can't break it down. That's what we'll do. So we'll just do it like that. But we also can't break it down here, the square root of 4, like, right? So that just becomes 3, and that just becomes 2. And 3 times 2 is 6. So we end up with the same answer again. I'm just showing you a couple of different methods. So right here, it's slightly different. We have negative 3 times square root of 5 times square root of 20. So if you really want to, I'm just going to start showing you like one way for now. I could just rewrite it as negative 3 times square root of 5 times square root of 20. And then we can see that we can't break this one down. We can't break this one down, but we can break down this square root of 20 into square root of 4 and square root of 5. And we can break down that square root of 4 to 2. And that square root of 5, well, let me do that in blue. And this was already done. And this is here, and this is here. So let's combine all this stuff. So negative 3. Times 2 is negative 6. I'm going to make this a different color, actually. Negative 6. I'll do like that right there. And then we have square root of 5 and square root of 5, which is square root of 25. But if you can see, we can still do it right here. So this is a negative 6 times 5. Because the square root of 25 is 5. And you get negative 30. All right, let's do this next one. So I'm going to rewrite this as a negative 6 times 3. Negative square root of 6. So I'm going to rewrite that. Okay, negative 1 times square root of 6 times 3 times square root of 4. Cool. Well, right here, that won't change. The 3 won't change. I can't pull a perfect square, so it's just this 4. Becomes that 2. Remember, technically, this is going to be positive or negative 2, but we'll just leave it positive. So we end up with this one didn't change, this one didn't change, this one didn't change. Okay. So negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. And negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. So negative 6 right? So we did this one, this one, this one, and we have square root of 6. I can't break this down like I said before, and I'm not multiplying anything else to change it, so we're good. I should do it like this. Okay, and then I kept that 6, square root of 6. Cool. All right, cool. Let's do this next one. So this one can be seen as, actually, I kind of like to break certain ones down. You know what? I'm going to do this slightly different. Okay, but I'm going to show you a broken. Normally, I don't break it. I don't need to break it down. So I see it for what it is. But if you need to see it, this makes it a little easier. Normally, I just jump from like this separating step. I just kind of skip over it, and I just write what I can get here. So 5 times 6 is square root of 30. And then y3 times y3 is square root of y to the 6th. But another trick is that if I take the square root of something and I multiply by the square root of something, I actually just end up with this, like what was on the inside to begin with. Like square root of 25, which is 5, times square root of 25, which is 5, gives you like 25. So if you can just jump from here, if you can just put these together to get here, that's fine. Square root of something has a square root of the same thing will give you that thing inside the square root, that number inside the square root for value. And then here, I can't, let's see, can I pull out 4? No. Can I pull out 9? No. Can I pull out 16? No. So I think I'm done. So I'm going to write y to the 3rd square root of 30. Okay, ready to get that a little better. Oh, that's fine. So I'll give you an example. I'm just going to put -5 here. Oh, there's nothing to multiply by, so we'll just leave it. We have x to the 3rd times square root of 20 times square root of x to the 4th. So this is the only one outside, so I'll do this. I'm done with this one right now. So then I get this yellow one. So this is x to the 2nd square root times square root of x times x third, right? And I get that's x, and that's done with. And this one was already done with, because I can't take the square root of x or represent it differently. And then right here, this can give me square root of, we can use 4. So square root of 4 times square root of 5. Square root of 4 becomes 2. We're done there. Square root of 5 stays the same. We're done there. Oh. And square root of x to the 4th, oh, that's easy. That's just x to the 2nd. And we're done there. The only reason I have these ones is because I don't want them to cover up, like it. You can see that I looked at it. I wrote it there, looked at it, changed, like, you know, decided that it was done. This circle usually means I did something prior to like this thing right here to get there. So I end up with, oh, this is not too bad at all. So 2, and then x times x to the 2nd power is x to the 3rd. Oh, I'll write it in green. 2x to the 3rd. Not too bad. Oops. Okay. So I got these last ones. I want you to think about these next ones as like you're using distribution. So square root of 4 times 3 times square root of 4. So I want you to think about like this. So 4 times square root of 3 is 3 square roots of 4. And then we have this plus. This is slightly different. This is just like, you'll see. It's different from the ones before. And then square root of 4, or positive times a positive is a positive. Square root of 4 times square root of 4. Square root of 4 times square root of 4 just gives you square root of 16. So I end up with, I can't really change anything here. Oh, yeah, I can. That is 2. Oh, I guess I should write it like this. This becomes 3 times square root of 4 plus square root, oh, yeah, we'll just leave it like that, plus square root of 16. And then we can go from there. So square root, this one's already done. And then square root of 4 becomes 2. We're done there. And the square root of 16 is actually just 4, positive or negative 4. Oh, so this is actually just straight multiplication. 3 times 2 is 6, times 4 is 24. Okay, let's see. Let's do it again. All right, so example number 8. Negative 3 times the square root of 2 times square root of 4 plus 5. Now, I don't want, don't forget, this is like the distributive property. You're going to have to multiply right here, like this negative 3 times square root of 2 times both of these terms right here, terms inside of the parentheses. So negative 3 times like square root of 4, like, well, there's no regular number, so to speak, no coefficient, so we just keep that. And then square root of 2 times square root of 4 is a square root of 8. So basically, you multiply these, but it's sort of like negative 3x times x. You multiply the x's. So 2 square root of 2, square root of 4, square root of 8. And then negative 3, so a negative times a positive is a negative. And negative 3 times 5 is negative 15, so minus 15. Don't forget the square root, though. You multiply this whole thing by 5. And so this is like negative 3x times 5. You get the negative 15 or minus 15, but don't forget the square root of 2 right there. Okay, so let's divide this. Well, I can just do this. So that's square root. Well, let's back up. I really can't do anything with this negative 3 right here, or this negative 15, because it's not multiplication. It's just negative 3 and then minus 15. I can't. But like you can't subtract 15 from negative 3. You can't do negative 3 minus 15, because remember, think about it. Negative 3x minus 5, like that's different. That's like a y. You know, like they're different. You can't do it. Anyways, so you're done with those. So square root of 8 is square root of 4. Remember, we look for perfect square, which is 4. And 2. We can't do anything with the 2, but we can keep going with the 4. Square root of 4 is 2. Now we're done there. And then, well, I guess that's it, because we can't even do anything with the square root of 2 over here. So let's go ahead and just write our answer. Green. So we have negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Okay, and then we have a square root of 2 right here. So you got to do all this separately, so to speak. And then you really couldn't do anything here. So then you just put minus 15 square root of 2. Oops, so close. And that's it. Thank you.